Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather and welcome to another TikTok Made Me Do It. Now that's kind of a lie and kind of not. It's like half and half. Because I saw on TikTok this week that people were taking Crescent dough sheets and they were putting hamburger and cheese and making them into cheeseburger, kind of like cinnamon rolls. Yeah, I don't know if you saw them, but it looked interesting. Now it looked a little bit too like processed because they poured the Cheese Whiz type American cheese all over the top. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I could get behind that. However, it got me thinking, I wonder if I could do this as a breakfast roll. I did it and it's delicious. In fact, it is so delicious that my son said he would not mind if those were in our freezer ready to go for him on those busy days when he has to just run to work. So I thought I would share this adventure with you and show you what I did. So if you're going to bake along with me, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need 12 eggs, 1/4 of a tablespoon of milk, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon of ground mustard, 1 roll of Crescent dough. Probably the sheet is best, but if you can't find the sheet, you can just pinch the little triangles together. It's fine. It'll be the same thing. 8 ounces of breakfast sausage and 1 cup of cheddar cheese. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is get your oven preheating to 350. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our milk to our eggs along with our ground mustard. Now, if you are putting salt and pepper in yours, go ahead and you can put your salt and pepper in now. But I want to show you this new thing that I got and requires me to put it in after it's already in the pan. So we're going to just give this a good whisk and break up those yolks the best that you can. And you do want them to all be broken up because we're going to actually pour it into this prepared pan over here. All right, and once those are all mixed together, let's go ahead and prepare our pan. So here I have an 11 by 17 baking sheet. I have covered it with parchment. And we are going to take our cooking oil. Now, alternately, you could use butter, but if you have something that doesn't have any, preservatives or anything, use that. You definitely just want a neutral oil on the bottom so that these will come up really easily whenever you're ready to. You'll see what we're going to do here. So now we're going to take our already beaten eggs and we are going to pour it into our baking sheet like so. We're going to get this into that preheated oven for 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on, how hot your oven is, if it's spot hot or if it's just right on. Mine usually takes about 12-ish minutes, and I just want the eggs to be set. So I don't want them super, super dry, but I want them just set. So into the oven, this is gonna go 12 minutes. All right, the next thing we are gonna do is we are going to open our Crescent rolls and spread it out on a piece of parchment or a pastry mat, something that doesn't stick and won't stick to your counter. We're gonna need to cut this on whatever you have it on. So if you're worried about cutting through your mat, make sure that you use a cutting mat or something of the sort. So pop that bad boy open. So what I wanna do is I wanna stretch this out as wide as it will go and see how it's kind of curling up right there. I'm actually going to turn it over the other direction so that curl plays with me. And I want to stretch this out as far as it will go because technically I need it to be the same size as the eggs that went into that pan. So we know the eggs are in a pan that is 11 by 17. So let's find our ruler. And you don't have to do this part. I'm just doing it for the sake of showing you. It's the same. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're just gonna stretch it out a little bit. Now it doesn't actually have to be the full length and I'll show you why in a second, but you want to stretch it as much as possible to fit that whole area because we're gonna lay those eggs right down on top of this. And if you have any holes like this, we're just gonna pinch that together. Looks fantastic. Okay, now the next step will cause you to be like, no, I'm not doing that. We're gonna take our sausage. Now, I have used pork sausage, I have used turkey sausage, I'm using turkey sausage today, but you can use whatever you want. This is uncooked sausage. And now we are going to put it all over our crescent dough. Now, I have myself an offset spreader here, but telling you to spread your sausage is weird. So I have my hands too, and we're just gonna coax it into all the places. Now, turkey sausage is way more easily spreadable than say pork sausage, just because there's a little more pork fat inside of pork sausage. But if yours does not spread, just break it apart and try to get it into all of the places. And you want it to be as thin as you can get it. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put the salt and pepper on those eggs. Remind me to do that. All right, once everything's spread nice and thin, and while we're waiting for the eggs to be done, we're gonna sprinkle this with some cheese. Now, I wrote down about a cup of cheese. You measure cheese with your heart, so if you don't use a cup, that's okay. And I don't like to skimp on the cheese because when they cook, the cheese comes out of them and makes those little crispy bits that just make me so happy. So don't skimp on the cheese, I'm just saying. Oh, and I will say, you can use any type of sausage you want for this. You can use breakfast sausage, or you can use the sage sausage or the rosemary sausage. Looks kind of like a pizza, huh? All right, the eggs are out. And as you can see here, they are set, but just barely. And that is what we want. So now what we're going to do is we are going to pick up our eggs and we are going to turn them over right on top of our cheese. And we're gonna do it in one motion. Ready? Wah! And as you can see, our roll is almost absolutely perfect. And now we're gonna salt and pepper the crap out of this thing. So I'm so excited right now because Linker has sent me some automatic salt and pepper shakers. You guys, look at how gorgeous they are. They are rechargeable. They come with their own base. It came with a spoon and a little dust brush. And you guys, they're automatic. So there's an on and off button right here in the back. And when they're flipped to on, when you turn them over, they grind. And when you flip them back over, they stop. They are fantastic. They also sent me other couple grinders that I'm gonna show off in the next couple weeks. But you guys, these are so gorgeous. And it's great for hands-free. Like if you have a dirty hand here, but you need some salt, you just pick up your salt, and we have it on, you turn it over, and it's just salting everything. Lift it up, it stops. Now we're gonna do the pepper, same idea. Oh, and it's adjustable. At the top, there is adjustability. So if you want a coarser grind or a finer grind, it's up to you. But here we go, want some pepper? Let's make sure it's turned on. Isn't that fantastic? And look how beautiful they are. Oh my goodness. It also comes in a kind of stainless steel color too. I almost think I would have preferred those, but you guys, I cannot complain. And when you set them on the base and you know they're charging, a little light goes on. Also, the light goes on when you are salt or peppering so that you can see your food, say if you were salt and peppering over the barbecue or somewhere a little darker. Very cool feature, I love it. Okay, I think that's plenty salt and peppered. So I'm gonna put these guys back and they sit in their base right over here and just charge when not in use. I have a feeling that even if they had not sent them to me for free, I would have bought some of these because I was thinking about it recently because I use salt pots like this, and if my hands are in something, it weirds me out sometimes. I'm like, did I wash this hand enough? I think I washed this hand enough. And then I go over and I wash again because I'm not sure, because I don't want to dip my hand into my salt and cross-contaminate. So I have been thinking about getting a hands-free grinding option because we love newly grinded salt and pepper. So, okay, that's enough about that. Okay, so let's first talk about what you're going to use. You can definitely use a 9x9 or 8x8 square or round pan. You can also use the very large muffin tins. So the small ones won't work. They're a little bit too small for these, but the large ones will work fantastically. You can also do them in individual glass jars that are oven safe. So most canning jars are safe for the oven, so you can make them right in here. So what I'm gonna do today is I am gonna actually put 2 of them in glass jars because I wanna make one of them in the air fryer. I'll do the other one in the oven, and then I'll do the rest right here in this pan. So how are we gonna make these now? Well, now it's up to you to decide how thick you want these rolls to be. But I'm gonna tell you that once you start rolling them, you'll see that they're pretty significantly thick. So let's go ahead and cut it right in the middle and make sure you get all the way to the bottom through all of your meat layer, through everything. All right, and then I'm gonna cut these into 3 strips. Try to be as equal as possible. And you can do them smaller for smaller mouths, but they'll still be as wide as the large muffin tin, so just keep that in mind. And they are a hearty meal. I told the guys the last time I made them that I should have made some sausage gravy, because then it was like a perfect biscuits and gravy texture. Oh my. So if your vessel is not nonstick, be sure to spray something in there. Otherwise, you're gonna have a problem. I'm just saying. All right, and now this is what we're gonna do. We are going to take our roll up here, and we're gonna start from the bottom and just roll it on up. Do, 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 do. And here we go. And this one's gonna go straight into my, okay, I made them way big today. And look at that. Look at how beautiful that looks. So usually they need to be a little bit smaller than that, or else it's gonna kind of stick over the top. It's fine. Okay, here we go. Roll, roll, roll. And to the end. And I take a little bit of this and I just stick it onto there. Stick it into my jar. Bink. So those 2 will cook separately from everything else. I just want to see how they work out in the jar, because I know I can cook in the jar, but I just want to see how these turn out in the jar. Do you know what I'm saying? Preheated. Right, you're gonna wanna make sure your oven is at 350. I actually have a double oven, so that was my second oven saying it's at 350 now, because I'm gonna do it again, but I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. All right, so here we go. We are going to roll, and we're just going to seal the edge just a little bit and plop it right down in there. And again, with the rest. Oh, whoa, little guy. Don't go anywhere. Make sure your flap is pushed up against the side of your tin so that it doesn't flap open whenever it's cooking. Okay, now into the oven. This is gonna go at 350 for 30 to 45 minutes. You're gonna want to temp these and make sure they come to about 200 degrees, because that ensures the sausage is cooked and the pastry is also cooked, because pastry is done about 200 degrees. So we're gonna get these right in. Let's go ahead and get this one in the air fryer as well. So I'm gonna put it on the bottom of the air fryer, and I'm going to set my air fryer for bake 350, and I'll start it at 15 minutes. All right, I'm gonna push go, and then I'm gonna get cleaned up, and then I'm gonna show you what I was thinking. What if we did the same thing but used cooked sausage so that we didn't have anything raw out on our counter? So that's what I'm gonna do and see if it works just the same. So here I have my cooked sausage. Okay, measure with your heart, your cheese. All right, and we're gonna take our eggs that I cooked the exact same way we did the last ones, and we are going to be a ninja and, whoops. My ninja skills need some work. There we go. And then we're gonna salt and pepper. All right, and now we're gonna do the same thing we did a second ago. We're gonna cut and roll. And there we go. They are ready for the oven. Look at this beauty. Look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? All of that crunchy, delicious cheese and everything looks absolutely fantastic. I'm thinking this might be the way to go, because after only 15 minutes, this thing was done. I want to see if I can get it out of here. Maybe next time, put a little bit more spray oil so it doesn't stick. Ooh, glass is so, nope, it's okay. It's not gonna come out. So you'll just have to eat it inside the glass. if I maybe put like a parchment liner in it, then it would come out in a single serve, but I can do that in the muffin tins. I kind of wanted to do it like this to see if I could get it in the air fryer. So this might still be worth it. So for instance, if you wanted to make the roll a little bit smaller so it cooked completely inside the jar, then be able to top it and put it in your freezer. I mean, like, there's that. I am determined to get this out. So maybe if I just loosen it. There we go. Oh, okay. Well, we'll take that out too. We'll eat that part. Oh man, that's good. I'll cut down the center of this one just so you can see the cross section. Bum, bum, bum. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? So you have pastry, cheese, meat, egg, pastry, cheese, meat, egg, pastry, cheese, meat, egg. It is fantastic. I almost feel after cutting this, I should have put a little more cheese. Darn. But it's fine because it's delicious. This tastes like one of those breakfast sandwiches you can get for the freezer aisle, but this tastes far beyond better than that. And you can pick it up. You don't have to eat it with a fork. I was just eating it with a fork because, I don't know. I realized after I ate it with a fork, I'm like, what am I doing? You can just pick this thing up. Pick the whole thing up and eat it like a hamburger. And the crunchy pastry on the outside, along with the softer pastry on the inside, because the meat made the pastry on the inside very soft and moist, and it is so creamy and delicious. I'm gonna eat the rest of this, but I will be right back when all of the rest of them come out of the oven. Be back. Oh dear. So there is a reason why you want to put the meat in raw. Yeah, it's kind of a disaster, but it is what it is. But these guys came out and they are beautiful. Look at that. And the one in the glass jar looks absolutely beautiful as well. Again, had I put those just a teeny tiny bit smaller, they would have fit in and the top would have been just fine. But as they stand, if you well greased your pan, they should lift right out, and look at how beautiful, yes, they're beautiful. They are beautiful and they are so delicious. So let me get a cooling rack, hold on. So if these were for dinner, obviously you would just eat them and they're delicious, or breakfast or whatever. But if you are going to freeze them for later use, you are going to want to cool them completely on a wire rack and then get them individually in some kind of container that will hold them. So we'll put them on the wire rack and let them cool, because I am going to be putting these in the freezer for my son like he asked. Now, let's just deal with and show you what happened to the other ones. You ready for this travesty? So, I mean, when you first look at them, you're sure, yeah, where did the pastry go? Yeah, it melted down around the bottom because apparently that uncooked sausage kept the pastry in place long enough for it to cook. The pastry is all bubbled around the bottom, and the bottom browned great, but yeah, it looks like little tugboats. Do you see that? Like little, let me put it up here. And we'll do a side-by-side comparison. Do not tugboat these. They are not meant to be tugboats. Oh my. Yeah, that looks a lot like a tugboat. That one kind of looks like a sombrero. And that one looks great. Now, because there's no fat in that pastry, I doubt that's even going to taste very good. So just don't do those ones. Just do it the way that we did it at the beginning, and they will turn out fantastic and they will be amazing. So you just want to get it into the freezer, freeze it until it's frozen, and then defrost for 30 seconds, turn it over, defrost for 30 more seconds, and then cook until it's warm enough for you to eat from the freezer. Oh, I also wanted to mention that it cooked very nicely inside the oven, inside the glass containers. Let's see if these ones come out any easier. No, they don't come out any easier. So If you're gonna cook them in the individual glass containers, make sure you put some parchment in there or something. But that's it, you guys. If you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos several times a week, and I'm always looking for the next adventure. Sometimes I find it on TikTok, and sometimes I find it, from you. You give me ideas. So if you got an idea, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.